Pitching is one of the craziest and most complicated parts of baseball. A prized pitcher can single-handedly win entire games, but few can match the unbelievable records of the all-time greats. Today, we're looking at the wicked curveballs, the blazing fastballs, and the insane records of the top 10 pitchers in MLB history. Number 10. Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw's a unique entry on the list as the only currently active player who will definitely go down as one of the all-time greats. Kershaw began pitching in the MLB back in 2008 for the LA Dodgers. This left-handed pitcher had a cumulative ERA of 2.10 over a 6-year period from 2011 to 2017 and led the league in ERA from 2011 to 2014. In those same 7 seasons, Kershaw averaged 5.73 strikeouts per walk and has gone on to be an 8-time All-Star player. Kershaw has also won the NL MVP back in 2014, thanks in part to his no-hitter on June 18th of that same year. He's won the Golden Glove Award, the Triple Crown, the Roberto Clemente Award, and just last year in 2020, he helped his team secure the World Series win. Who knows how much further Kershaw can push his pitching skills in the future. Number 9. Bob Gibson. Gibson played for almost 20 years from 1959 to 1975, where he accumulated a win-loss record of 251 to 174 with a 2.91 ERA. He shined the brightest for the first 9 seasons of his career, but don't count out his later years. In 1968, Gibson's pitching was so good he actually reshaped the history of baseball. Gibson was so good, the commission was forced to change the pitching rules to make scoring more fair when faced with the unstoppable Bob Gibson. The pitcher's mound was lowered by 5 inches, and the size of the strike zone shrank. But that didn't stop Gibson. The very next season, he struck out 269 batters and continued to crush the hopes of anyone he faced for years. He was a 2-time World Series champ, and he also won the NL MVP and 2 Cy Young Awards to round out his accolades. Number 8. Greg Maddox. Maddox would have been higher on the list, but it's hard to know exactly how good he was since his career from 1986 to 2008 was in the era when steroids were rampant in the pros. Although we had notorious batters like Sammy Sosa in this era, Maddox was giving these roid monsters a run for their money with his career ERA of 3.16. Maddox had the MLB in a stranglehold during the 90s, with a whip of 0.97 and an ERA of 2.15. Maddox did have a few bad seasons, but his postseason success was impressive with a 1995 World Series win that included finishing a game with no earned runs allowed versus the Cleveland Indians. Number 7. Carl Hubble. While the pitchers so far have been known for their all-around successes, Hubble originally cemented his name thanks to his insane screwball. This old-school player struck out 5 players in a row in the 1934 All-Star Game, including Al Simmons and even Babe Ruth. In another game, he pitched a jaw-dropping 18 scoreless innings. He also won 24 straight games in 1936 to 1937 for an MLB all-time record. The legendary Joe DiMaggio even said that Hubble was the most difficult pitcher he had ever played against, and Hubble also got 2 MVP nods with an ERA of 2.98 and a whip of 1.17. Number 6. Pedro Martinez. Martinez held a 7-year-long peak from 1997 to 2003, where he threw some amazing games for the Montreal Expos before switching to the Boston Red Sox. To start off his reign, Pedro got 305 strikeouts in 1997 to win the NL Cy Young Award, and then he won it 2 more times, in 1999 and the year 2000. Even with a rotator cuff injury in 2001 limiting him to 18 starts, he still struck out 163 batters. Absolutely crazy. Martinez's outside pitches and strange changeups made him a dominant force on the mound. Number 5. Christy Matheson. It's hard to believe Matheson played over 100 years ago during his 16-year career from 1900 to 1916. As a result, his WAR is lower than others on the list at 90, but he was still a force to be reckoned with. He won an impressive 31 games back in 1905 with a 1.28 ERA in 1905 to cap off his 3 consecutive seasons at the top of the National League ranks for strikeouts. Matheson had a K to BB ratio of 3.98, and his most impressive year in 1905, he pitched complete game shutouts in Games 1, 3, and 5 of the World Series, a feat that few can match. Number 4. Roger Clemens. With an ERA of 3.12 and a record of 354 to 184, Clemens is an easy pick for this list. His WAR rate of 139.2 is top 10 material as well. While we've seen some pitchers win a couple Cy Young awards, Clemens won 7. If only he wasn't around during the steroid era, Clemens' amazing career would look even better. Number 3. Randy Johnson. While Johnson was yet another pitcher during the dark ages of the late 80s to early 2000s, his accomplishments are undoubtedly some of the best of all time. During his short time with Houston, the big unit went 10-1 in 11 starts and got 4 shutouts with a wicked 1.28 ERA. He went on to win the Cy Young Award 4 seasons in a row playing for the Diamondbacks, and began striking out everyone in his path, netting an unbelievable 329 strikeouts or more for a staggering 5 straight seasons. Many of Johnson's postseason runs were pretty tough, but he made up for it with his 2001 NLCS and World Series run. Johnson won all 5 and got 2 complete game shutouts with a combined pitching line of 33.1 innings, only 19 hits, 4 earned runs, 6 walks, and a nice 38 strikeouts with a 1.08 ERA and a sub-1 WHIP to be named co-MVP of the World Series that year. Number 2. Mariano Rivera. As the first unanimous Hall of Famer and best closer of all time, Rivera is a frontrunner for GOAT status. His 19-year-long reign racked up a 2.21 ERA, a 1.0 WHIP, and held 2 MLB records, one for getting at least 25 saves for 15 seasons in a row, and had 11 seasons with an ERA below 2.0. On top of a mountain of other awards, Rivera landed 5 World Series wins, and he's the league's all-time leader in saves. Number 1. Walter Johnson. The big train Walter Johnson had a win-loss ratio of 417 to 279 with a 2.17 ERA over a mind-blowing 5,914.1 innings, 21 seasons playing for the Washington Senators, with a peak run from 1910 to 1914. If that wasn't impressive enough, Johnson pitched an all-time MLB record of 110 complete game shutouts. It's hard to imagine a run so completely dominant. His WAR of 164.5 ranks second of all time among all players, not just pitchers. His stats were even more insane before his final 8 seasons when he started to trail off. Before the end of his career, his ERA was 1.65 with a sub-1 WHIP. He led the AL in total strikeouts in 12 out of 15 seasons. But the Senators weren't able to bring home the World Series until later in his career. Even then, he faced an uphill battle, including his difficult 12-inning loss in his very first postseason appearance. But he was pitching when they finally won in 1924. Blink, and you'll miss any of the thousands of throws these insane pitchers let loose during their careers. Did your favorite pitcher make it to the mound on our list? Let us know in the comments section below. While you're there, throw a fastball to click that subscribe button and like the video too. And we'll see you next time.